You're watching India Today Global, and we're in conversation with India. That's right. You heard us right. It's India Sarju, who is a prominent Dutch breakdancer, or very, very well known as one of the B girls. India has an Indian ancestry, so to say, with both her parents, one from the Netherlands, the other has her roots also in Suriname, and has made a name for herself. She became very, very prominent, and her videos went viral during the Olympics because breakdance was part of the Olympics this year. She performed really, really well. And a lot of them actually thought that it was India being represented at that semi final. India Sarju, thank you so much for joining us here on India Today
Yes, thank
Global.
you so much for having me.
Okay. One, let me begin with the fact that a lot of people here in India actually confused your representation at the Olympics as India being represented, not India
Yeah.
from the Netherlands. Uh,
No,
did did
no.
did you know about that?
Yeah, I know there's a lot of confusion about my name. It's like India, but are you from India? But I always tell people no, I'm from Holland. But I know like even before the Olympics there was a lot of confusion about it. So yeah.
Okay. Why did your parents name you India?
Basically because they just think it was a really nice name. So the answer is like really simple, but yeah, they just think it was a really nice name. So yeah.
Okay, also because of the India Connect, because your parents and you are of Indian
Um,
origin.
No, not really. My mother is Dutch and Surinamese, and my father is Surinamese and also was born in Suriname. So, of course, the roots are in India, but they're not from India. But I don't think my name has any connection towards the country India. But yeah.
Yeah, okay. All right. But you did make a spectacular name for yourself and performed spectacularly at the Olympics this year. How did that really feel?
Yeah, I mean, it felt so good. I worked so hard for it, like 2 years in the Olympic race, and then yeah, make a fourth place for myself. So yeah, I'm just really happy, and I enjoyed every moment on the Olympics and the journey towards it. So yeah, I'm really happy with the result.
Okay. Also, the fact that when you first heard that Olympics is allowing breakdancing as a sport, what were your first reactions? Did you think you will fill up the entry forms, or go for for the trials immediately after hearing the news? What was your first reaction?
I think like when breaking was announced to be at the Olympics, it was like in 2020. So of course I was breaking, but I was not at the highest level yet. So I didn't immediately start with the Olympic trials. I think the first one started in 2019, or maybe like no, I don't know. But the Olympic trials started really early, and I wasn't like really invested. So my Olympic journey started in 2022. And from that moment, I was like, okay, let's go for it. I want to be at the Olympics. And yeah, basically that. But it was not immediately because I was also younger. I was like 14 or something. So for me, it was not that realistic yet. But in 2022, it became more realistic and more of a goal of me.
All right, but you also at age 10 won the Dutch national championship in breaking.
Yes.
And how did that feel? Did that give you the confidence that yes, you can look at championships beyond the country?
Well, I did indeed like win the Dutch championship in 2022. But for me, it was more like I wanted to travel more outside of the Netherlands. I want to travel and do the international events. So that was like my goal. And I did like I traveled a lot, and I also performed really well at international competitions. So I really wanted that. And then later, I did the yeah, like the qualifications, and it went also really well. And I was like, okay, just let's go for it. And yeah, we have 2 more years, so yeah, everything can happen, and I can only get better. So
But again, you got to know about breaking now an entry in the Olympics, but they're saying that it is not going to be part of the Olympics next time around in Los Angeles. Does that
yes.
make you sad? What's your reaction to that?
Yeah, so we already knew like 1 year before the Paris 2024, we knew breaking wouldn't be at the Olympics in 28. And first I was like, yeah, it's okay because it's only 5 years from now. And I wasn't that sad. But now that I experienced the Paris 2024, I am, well, pretty disappointed. I'm kind of sad because I know I experienced how it was and how cool it was, and it was like a magical feeling and the best experience. So now I am like, okay, I am a bit disappointed that it's not in 28. Yeah.
Would you really consider it a sport or maybe an art form, because you have been a sports person yourself? You were into football and then switched to breaking. So would you consider breaking or breakdance part of the Olympic sports, or should do you think there should be another tournament, world tournament for it?
No, no, I do see breaking as a sport, but also as a dance and also as an art form. So it's like all three in one. I know there's a lot of discussion about is it a sport or not, but for me it is because I know how hard I work for it and like how much I train and all the things I have to do to become the best at it. So yeah, for me it's a sport because it's like super intense, but also a dance because at the end of the day you dance on the music and the music is the most important thing. And it's an art form because you have to be creative and you have to be unique. So it's all these factors in one. But yeah, I do think it's a sport. Yeah.
Okay, you worked very hard, India, you say. Let's just talk about training. You trained very hard under Teen Wooden, if I'm not wrong. And
Okay.
what did the training really entail?
My training. Well, I train like four or five times a week breaking, and besides that, I do 3 times a week strength and conditioning training. So my training, yeah, just looks like in breaking. It's like t- for example, one day I practice footwork, one day I practice power moves, or like the things I want to do eventually on the battle itself. So it's just like more focused on dancing, of course. And then the strength and conditioning, yeah, it's more my strength training and make my muscles stronger. And yeah, basically,
Uh,
basically that. Yeah,
okay, you're 17 or 18, right, India?
I'm 18.
Okay, how does it feel to sign up a Nike deal?
Well, I signed my Nike deal at 16, so it's already been quite a while. But I mean, it's a huge opportunity, and I was so happy. Yeah, they want to sign. So yeah, it's like a huge opportunity, and I do a lot with them, so I'm really happy, and they take good care of me. So yeah, it's really huge.
Okay. Now, I know that you have, or your roots are in India in terms of your parents. Nobody's from India at this point in time, like second, third generation. But does anybody in your household speak Hindi or any
Speak
other?
Indian.
Yes, speak Hindi or any other Indian language.
Um, Well, my mother can understand and speak Hindi, but we just don't do it that much because me, my sister, and my mother live in this house, so we can't really speak it with her. But when my mother is with her family, with our family, or like with the other people, then she would speak it or at least understand it.
Hmm.
And my both my grandparents can do it, so they speak with my father. Um, yeah, and he just answers in Dutch, but he can understand.
Okay, so they answer in Dutch. They understand it, but you don't speak it at all.
I don't speak it at all, unfortunately. No.
Okay, any intentions of or desire to travel to India and see India?
Yeah, yeah, for sure. Maybe I want to do some classes now, or like learn the basic because I'm really interested in it, and it's also good to have the legacy know it as well. So
Okay. Going back to your sport, or the breakdancing, breaking. You gave a very tough fight. We saw the performance. It was brilliant. You have the aura, the charisma to carry the dance form. How did it feel when you did not score and were beaten by the Japanese, if I'm not wrong? Do you
yes.
really think she was tough and she deserved to win those 3 rounds, or the maybe the last round?
I mean, she's a really tough competitor. I mean, she's the gold medalist, so well, she's really good. So I didn't lose from someone bad or something. So yeah, she did really good. It was a really close battle. It was 2-1, so everything could have happened. Yeah, looking back to it, I'm just still really proud of my performance and what I did. Like looking back to it, of course, I can say I could have done this better. But at this moment, I did the best I could at that moment. So yeah, that's the only thing I can say about it.
Oh, well, you were beautiful, India. Let me tell you that. But
Thank you.
from here on, what are your plans? The next year, the next 2 years, or the next 5 years? Where does
Yeah.
India see herself?
I mean, I'm still gonna break for sure.
Mm.
I have a few competitions planned. I just did a competition last week. Um, so I'm just planning to do some competitions and still a lot of training. There's a world championships coming up in November, I think. So I will prepare for that. And yeah, on the longer term, I still have to check. But for sure, dancing, traveling. Um, yeah, and also I see it in the moment itself.
Right. India, you are an inspiration. What inspires you, and how would you want to inspire the younger generation? A lot of kids are looking at breaking today because of you, because of many others, because of the Olympics.
Yeah.
And how do you wish to then inspire those younger lot? How and what really inspires you then?
What inspires me is basically my crew. I practice a lot with my crews, my team, with who I practice like every week. And I watch at them, and they give me advice and be like, okay, maybe you can do this and this. So they help me a lot and they inspire me. And just my friends all over the world, like the breakers all over the world who I follow, like B girls from Portugal, from Germany. Those are my friends, but I also are my competitors, and I just watch it there and be like, okay, this is so cool. Maybe I can get this from them, and yeah. So my people, and how I want to inspire, yeah, the younger generation is just basically by doing what I do, do competitions, and if they feel inspired to dance because of me, I'm really honored, and I'm really happy to hear that as well. So yeah, just by basically doing what I do, and
Okay.
if they feel motivated by starting to dance, it's a really nice, and I'm happy I could be the one that yeah make them start.
India Sarju, thank you so much for joining us here on India Today Global. Wishing you the best in the near and for the future, and only hoping that you do yourself and your parents proud. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.